Are you ready to take your organization to the next level and become a game changer in your industry? Then look no further. Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, where we bring you the world's top business thought leaders to share their secrets to success, from leadership development to finance, marketing, self-development, human resource management, and much, much more. Our guests reveal the strategies, tactics, and mindsets that have made them so successful. So let's dive in and learn from the best in the business. Hello and welcome back to another great episode. Today, I'm delighted to introduce you to my friend, an incredible lady who is out there helping business owners and everyday person like you and I to really live well when it comes to your health and also your finances. And what makes today's episode so special, it is we're going to discover the practical steps that you too, as a business owner, as somebody who's very busy, somebody who truly loves your family, loves your community, loves your country, or wherever you are planted, you want to make a difference, you're going to find today's conversation very, very, very helpful. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very happy to be a part. Y'all have done such great things. I love listening to your podcasts. I always learn something new and something. I got to take that home and do this. So I appreciate all that you're doing.
Indeed, you're welcome. And if you have missed some of our episodes, we have tremendous guests that we had lined up over the last few weeks. Please go check those out. I'm sure you will find something that's going to help you in your personal life or in your business. And let us know how you're finding our conversations as well. Kelly, before we dive deep into our conversation, you've got something very interesting. You've discovered something about your services or what you talk about, something a lot of people don't really know, or maybe they are just not aware of that. Would you share your nuggets with everybody here?
No, thank you, Yeukai. Absolutely. In the years that I have worked with in the US with corporate retirement plans and participants in these plans, I've learned that people, when they plan for their future, for their finances, but they don't plan for their wellness. And what trips them up the most in their retirement years, all these years they've worked so hard to earn this money, is that they don't get to live their life because they've not worked as hard or planned for their wellness. So if you don't plan, there's a great quote called "Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now." That's Alan Lincoln. And I think that is such a powerful statement and helps so many people when they really do connect with it and do something about it.
I love that quotation because there are times when I feel like I'm hopeless about the future or maybe a particular area. And I remember that, planning really is bringing that future into present so you can do something about it. What an incredible saying. And I thank you for being here as well to share your nuggets with everybody. That's so generous of you to be doing that. And for those who haven't come across Kelly's work, Kelly is an outstanding best-selling author, speaker, and a national board certified health and wellness coach who helps individuals like you and I strategically utilize your infinite resource to design a life of wellness and longevity. One of the things I love about Kelly is in her mid-40s, Kelly and her husband discovered that the world needs people who knows what to do when obstacles comes their way and when there is an unwellness comes into their way. In fact, Kelly, you've got an interesting story. In your mid-40s, your husband was diagnosed with a disease. He had a brain surgery, from what I understand. Yes. Would you share very briefly that journey and what led you into doing what you're doing today?
Oh, absolutely. So about our early 40s, my husband, we discovered that he had what's called a pineal gland cystic mass sitting in the middle of his brain. And how this came about was the fact, we don't really know how it came about, but how he finally told me about it was he was seeing double and couldn't drive in the evening anymore because he couldn't put the roads together. Anyway, we finally figured out what was going on, and he had his surgery in March of 2014. And after that, while he was recovering, we had a few things go on, but I had a couple friends of mine who told me, or I said, "Hey, Kelly, come do this warrior dash with us." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, let's go do it." Because I kind of jump in on things when they sound like fun, and it sounded like fun. But then I turned around and went, "Oh no, what's a warrior dash? Like, can you explain this to me? Like, I'd never heard of the obstacle courses before."
Yeah.
So anyway, we in the fall or the spring of 2014, we all went out this muddy field outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and participated in like the most fun I have had. I've always done races, like 5K races and 10 and that and whatnot. One marathon, won't do it again. I'm good. I can check that box. Anyway, my husband and the kids were watching because he couldn't participate because he was still recovering from his brain surgery. But that just planted that seed that he needed, because he had some struggles as he was recovering from surgery, and we had a few setbacks through the whole process to get him moving. And so we ended up starting to do obstacle course challenges. And now I was trying to count them this morning. I think we've done over 17, and we have 5 scheduled for this fall.
Wow.
And we're in our 50s now. But what was the big thing for him, and what we found out later on, in fact, over the last 2 years, year and a half, he has a rare autoneurological disorder called Lambert-Eaton myasthenic syndrome, which makes it difficult for his muscles to contract. And what we discovered was, over all these years of training for obstacle courses, he was masking what really was part of the whole cause of his double vision. The cyst was part of it, but this rare autoimmune disease was another big part of it that continued to give him trouble. We were just masking it because we were always working out. Anyway, so that's what's, I think, partly propelled us to continue these obstacles. And then I've just learned so much from them that I just continue. I've kind of like now become addicted to them, and I just continue to go.
Yeah. Not only that, you also had your own difficulties with your back, which a lot of people, when they face all that and everything else, they fold and think, my life is is nearly over.
Yeah. During the when I was pregnant with my daughter and in my mid-30s, my back went out on me when I was pregnant. And then when I was taking care of my husband, which similar to a lot of caretakers out there, you kind of put yourself, you really do. You put yourself on the back burner because you're taking care of someone else. And throughout the process of, running him, because he had to go back to the hospital a couple of times, my back went out on me. I mean, I literally had to sit on the floor and pull my legs up so I could tie my shoes.
Oh.
And the doctors told me I had degenerating discs in my lower back, and I've come to find out I have arthritis in my right hip. And painful, yes, but I don't know. My husband's name is Frank, and we just looked and said, okay, we're in our mid-40s. Is this what our life is going to be like? And we had young kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this can't be what my life is going to be like. I can't sit there and say, no, I'm going to give up on all these fun things that my kids are just about ready to do. They were just starting because they were 8, like I said, 8 and 9 at the time. Like, we've got too much fun ahead of us. I'm not going to let this happen. So we just went back and dug in and said, okay, what can we do? And we just really put a focus in on our wellness, even though both of us, he had a really busy corporate job. I was traveling and decided to go out and start my own registered investment advisor side. I was on the financial side, and went out on my own for business at that point in time. But still, our health was so important to us, because I was looking at my 2 little ones going, I want to be there for them. I want to be part of the fun. I want to continue.
Yeah. I have to applaud you, because you made a good decisions at that time, and it pays off. Now, you spend more time with Gavin and Tori, and you're doing great things with them, and I'm sure they truly appreciated, being physically fit and doing everything that you do.
It is fun because they continue to come back to do our obstacle courses with us. So in fact, my son, who's in college, we're meeting to do Conquer the Gauntlet on September 2nd. So he's coming down from Kansas, and we're driving up, and we're going to go do that obstacle course again for the 6th time. And he's gotten his friends now coming with us. We've got all these college kids coming with us. So I think it kind of keeps us young too, because it's just fun to be with them and doing these things.
Yes, yes. Well, you're an inspiration. Let's talk about wellness, because at that point you started looking at wellness really closely. You ended up, doing some courses. You decided to go back and learn more stuff by that. Let's talk to business owners who are perhaps neglecting their wellness at the minute, but they ought to be looking at that. Having done it, if you were to go back to really looking at wellness, where would you start?
Well, I think obviously being well all your life is important, right? As much as you possibly can. But I think a pivotal part for so many of us does happen to be when we hit that midlife point where, our bodies are not quite functioning the way that we used to think they would function, right? Like you're
Right.
getting a little, it's a little harder to lose some of the little roundness and all that kind of other stuff. And start waking up with a little more aches and pains than you did before. And it's so easy for so many of us once we hit midlife to be like, oh, that's just age. That's just the way it's going to be. And honestly, kind of, and I hate to say this, but really give up on ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that's almost when you need to double down. It's so much easier when we're younger because our bodies are healthier at that point in time because we can kind of mask a lot of the issues. But as we get older, it becomes even more and more important to take your health that much more seriously. Because if you don't, the consequences of what that's going to mean to you 10, 20, 30 years down the road into your retirement years is going to be huge, or your later years. And it's not going to be the kind of life you want to have or you imagined you would have.
Yeah, that brings me to the concept that if you don't plan, or lack of planning, or modifying your behavior really has consequences that is beyond what you you may think of right now. How do
Yeah.
you go about planning your wellness at this stage if you're just starting out?
The biggest thing, one little step at a time. It's like
Yes.
anything that you plan in your life. I uh, I know a lot of us like to have these instantaneous results, and there's a lot of products and services that tell us instantaneous results, but that's just not possible. So I think the best thing we can all do is take it like we do our financial planning. We all know, unless we win the lottery, it takes time to build your financial wealth. It takes time to put yourself in a situation where you're going to feel financially comfortable or have financial freedom. Well, it's the same concept with your wellness. It takes time to build, either get back to what you had before or maybe maintain what you have, but it's one little step at a time. And I know a lot of us think we can do a lot of things all at once, but I think all of us pretty much can say that multitasking is really not that great. And you can't take on every wellness challenge at the same time. And that's the thing. The important thing is helping people really plan, okay, I'm maybe not eating as well as I need to, or maybe I'm not exercising as well, or I'm not taking my stress as well as I should. All right, let's not try to tackle all three of them at once, because your brain's going to blow up. Like you're not going to be able to do that. That's like too much. Instead, let's take one, and let's take the one that you're most interested in. And the one you're like, okay, I'm actually ready to do something here. Now let's dig into that one and let's peel that onion back a little bit more and figure out, okay, what are the steps you need to do? And I have a process called CAP, which is clarity, awareness, and plan. And that's what I take my clients through, is helping them through that process so they can plan to meet their goals. And we just take one at a time and one little step at a time.
Love that. I'm very interested in exploring CAP. Really, if you could break it down, there's Bill here listening and wants to start working on their wellness. And in your experience working with people like that, what should they be clear about? What sort of measures should they be putting in place that you can think of?
The first thing is, honestly, you do really have to, I'd say clarity is the first thing. What are you fighting for? What is that goal that you want it to look like? What does your wellness vision look like to you? What does your future look like to you? And truly connect with it. I think we do a lot of times like these vision boards and stuff. And yeah, they're great. They're somewhat wishes and they really do help move along that way. But you almost need to viscerally connect deep in your soul with really what does wellness mean with you, because until you do so, until you get that clarity, it's going to be really hard for you to do the things that you need to do, because it means some sacrifices, right? You can't eat all the junk that you want, right? Or not exercise. And then the next biggest thing is bringing awareness. I think the biggest thing working with clients I have found is that if you don't really truly understand where you are today and what you're really enjoying, what you don't enjoy, what obstacles you have in your way to meeting, kind of bridging that gap between where you see your vision and see yourself and where you are today, you need to get kind of almost brutally honest with yourself and honest with your situation, because it's that awareness that leads to clarity. And it's that awareness that helps you understand what's that gap that I need to fill. And then the last is plan. So we need to now bridge that gap. We need to help you get to what are those little steps that we need to help you get to that vision that you want. And again, there might be several things you have to do. You might have to work on all three of the foundation pieces, which is your nutrition, your movement, and your stress. Or maybe you just need to work on one. But it's a matter of figuring out which is that one that's most important for you. And it doesn't necessarily mean that's the one that's going to move the needle the most. It just means let's get you working on one that you start to see progress on, and you need to start seeing progress on, because once you start seeing progress on one, then the rest all of a sudden start kind of falling into place and it gets easier.
Amazing. Absolutely. I love that. Once you have that awareness, you can change it. Somebody once said to me that if you can see it clearly, you can change it effectively. Once you've got that awareness of where you are and where you are supposed to be, and then you take the necessary steps, it's amazing what can happen. Now, I've changed certain areas of my life in the past. Not all of them. I'm working on other areas. But I have discovered, I don't know about you, Kelly, that when I involve other or external, like a coach or a consultant or somebody from without, I'm more likely to follow through than when it is all on me. I'm working on myself. I know there's some wonderful people that can do it all by themselves, but I fall in the category that I need somebody to hold me accountable. Even at work, I know what needs to happen. I share with others and I say, these are the steps, and somebody has to, and I say, okay, this is what I've done. That's why I use coaches. In your experience, how well can people do this by themselves?
It really depends on the person. And I love what you just said right there, because you're aware of what will help you and what resources that you need to tap. There are some people who are great self-changers and can work through all of that, but it's really, truly, that's why that awareness piece is so important. Is that, like, I was working with a client the other day and she was just like, I just need someone to hold me accountable. Like, I can do all this other stuff. She's building her own business and she can get all that stuff done. But then when it comes to her health, though, she's like, I just need someone to be like, review my diet plan with me, make sure I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's the key part of it. Is it's not they're good or bad. It's just who you are. So, and it's to be, and to know that you can identify that, then that's great. That's an obstacle you just got over and said, okay, I know I need to have somebody in there to help me with my accountability for this piece. The rest of this I got. So it's just, some people are natural self-changers. You're obviously going to be a natural self-changer when it comes to your business and you've got all that going. But then when it comes to your health, you're kind of like, oh my goodness. So and that's natural for a lot of us. Some of us, when it comes to our business, we're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? It's like, okay, help me here. I need some coaching and guidance on this side. So that's why kind of clicking into and really connecting with what's going to help you and not being like ashamed or worried or like, oh my goodness, why can't I do this on my own? Doesn't matter. You've identified what's going to help you. Roll with it.
Amazing. Well, if you're anything like me, you may want to contact Kelly to find out how maybe Kelly can help you with that, especially in those three areas. Kelly, because of our time, I really want to jump on to talk about obstacles, because I know Bill and many people listening in here are facing some real challenges, and you have faced some challenges, and you've written a book that focuses on strategies to overcome some challenges. Shall we take time to to talk about this area, maybe starting from what you discovered in putting your book together.
I would love to. This is kind of, like I said, become kind of one of my favorite places. You know, I think it's so amazing. I don't know what you think, Yeukai, but so many people see obstacles in life, and obstacles, whether it's in their business, which I know we're talking a lot of entrepreneurs here, is, oh, I have to do this again, or, oh my gosh, this really sucks. Or, whatever word to it. But when we go out on the obstacle course, if you've ever done an obstacle course, you go and you have this excitement, and you have this, like, I am going to take this on, and I'm going to hit every obstacle I can. And, if I can't do it, I'll drop and do my burpees. Although, I don't want to do my burpees, but I'm going to try to do, I'm going to, you come at it with this different kind of go for it attitude, forget the rest. I'm here to play. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to go on and take the challenges. And some of them are pretty hard. We don't face life that way. And I think that it was really kind of, I was going back over, because we've done so many of these, and I was going through some of the challenges I faced on the fields. Like, one point in time, I was afraid I was going to get hurt going over these simple little rows of, they call it the Rockies, and it's about 4 angled obstacle courses together, one board about maybe an 8 by or 10 foot board leaning on its side. You have to climb to the top and get over it, then climb to the next one, climb the next one. Well, for some reason, I was afraid to go over that, because I was afraid I was going to land on my knee and scrape myself. But the first time through, I walked around it. And I was so irritated with myself that I let that fear stop me from taking on something that really wasn't that challenging. And then I thought, okay, well, gosh, we do that in our life as well too. Like, how many times are we afraid? I've been in sales all my career. And how many times are we afraid to pick up the phone, the old days, the phone, right? Or send the email, or call the client, or do any of that kind of stuff, because we're so afraid we're going to scrape ourselves. We're going to land on our knee. We're going to get hurt. And I just, there are so many little lessons like that, that if we just shift our frame of mind, or shift our viewpoint a little bit, we can start looking at obstacles in our life the same way we do when we're on the field. Like, okay, some of these really suck, and sometimes there are some really sucky obstacles in life that you have to go through, but what can you grab onto that will help you get through it? Like, you're stuck in traffic. Okay, can you do anything about that? Nope, you really can't. So is there a great podcast, maybe Yeukai's podcast, you haven't listened to in a while, and you're like, oh, I really want to hear that guest. Let me pull that up and use your time a little bit differently, and at least sit there and say, okay, well, it sucks to be stuck in traffic, but at least I can do something with this. So it's just helping shift that perspective on obstacles. And there's several different other things I go through in the book, but those are just some examples of looking at life a little bit differently.
Yes, yeah. And here's what has helped me. I know you may want to take some notes on this, is viewing obstacles as gifts that opens, maybe a doorway, maybe a new learning, or something that I didn't know was in me. Because when you face an obstacle, oftentimes you've got to look inward to see how resourceful you are to get over it, or to find a solution. And oftentimes, when I face obstacle now, this doesn't happen all the time, so don't hold me to it, but more often than not, is I get to a place where I discover that I've got certain strength that I didn't even know I had.
Yes.
Or certain ability that I didn't know I have. And I have to look back and think, oh my goodness, did I actually do that? Yes, I did. Because there is so much depth in all of us. There is so much perhaps we haven't even uncovered or discovered in what we can do. So obstacles, for the bigger part, they are a gift to help us understand us more, and even to get more opportunities ahead of us.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else around obstacles, how to overcome obstacles, that you really want everybody to know about?
So in the book, I do cover, there's 5 strategies. It's recovery, discovery, persistency, creativity, and collaboration. And there's a little something from each one that I think is a nugget that you can take with you. Some of the biggest things, and this goes along with the health side of things and that clarity, is when you are recovering from something, sometimes it really is helpful to find that goal that will help you push through. So by example, like for my husband, he couldn't participate in that first obstacle because he was recovering from brain surgery after all, but that planted that seed that he needed so desperately to help push through his recovery and get himself healthy again. Sometimes that's a really big thing that we need to really tap into, going, what is that thing that's going to get me off the couch again and get me going again, or get me facing that world again, and then make those little steps to go toward it. And I've come to find the last strategy in there is collaboration. I think that one is teamwork. It's understanding that we're not on this rock by ourselves. And it's just so important to recognize and remember that. And that's, I think, one of the beautiful things about these obstacle course challenges is that you don't meet a stranger. Everybody is there to lend a hand and to boost you up or pull you up or just coordinate and work together. I so wish that we had that spirit more in everything that we have in life. I think that unfortunately right now we're in a spot of a lot of division, and it doesn't matter, what you look like, who you do, or whatever, right? It just matters that we're all humans and we're here together, and let's just figure out how we can work through this obstacle together. And I think that also plays a lot in business, because I do know so many times when I've worked with others, when we've gone out on sales calls together, we're so much better as a team than we are individually. So that collaboration piece, just tapping back into that and seeing where you can help and being willing to help in little different areas, even if it's not your area, you can do so much to push your whole group forward.
We are better and stronger together than,
yes.
Just one of us.
We are.
Yes. Yeah. And even in your journey, Bill, and everybody listening here, in your journey of your wellness, you could reach out to a team of people and say, look, this is what I'm trying to do. It's amazing once you start moving towards your goal. Some people who are aligned to your goals begins to come in your world. It's crazy how that happens. When you start moving progressively towards your goal, whatever it may be, you will find your tribe there.
Oh, absolutely. You really do. It is. I think people kind of come out of the woodwork, and it's partly too, you're just aware of it. And that awareness helps you see things that you might not have seen before too.
Yes. As we come toward the end of our time together, there will be people certainly who wants to embark on the journey of wellness. Maybe they're already there, but they just need to fine tune what they're doing, and they want to hear from you or connect with you. Where can they find you?
Oh, thank you for asking. So you can find me at kellymajdan.com. So it's KELLYMAJDAN. And you can reach out to me there. I have a program called Designing Your Wellness Strategy, and that's really helping people. It's an 8-week program to go through setting this up. And I actually, honest right now, I'm looking for a few people who are willing to go through it because it's in its pilot stage, and would love some feedback from folks who are willing to give me 8 weeks of their time, 1 day a week, or 1 hour, 1 day a week anyway, to go through that and work with it and really be the voice of feedback to the program and help fine tune it.
Yes, incredible. And they can apply on your website?
Yes, they can. Just do the contact me page, and that will get directly to me. And please say that you heard about this on Yeukai's podcast, so I know exactly where they came from and can make sure we'll get them in with a special deal.
Incredible. Well, incredible. Look, guys, what we have covered today has the potential of changing the trajectory of your life. As you always know, we want you to benefit from our conversations and from all the hard work you're already putting. So I want to encourage you, if you found our conversation here helpful, or if there's anything, or maybe just one thing that intrigued you, reach out to Kelly or reach out to me or my team. We'll be delighted to help you. Our goal is to help you get closer to your goals, or even achieve those goals through the information that you are gaining today. Kelly, final thought here. As a businesswoman, just like business owners here, you may have experienced some difficulties in your marketing or in getting new clients. What are you doing differently at this minute to get new clients in?
So I'm working with, I'm tapping into my old network because of coming from the financial services industry here in the United States. It's a very tight-knit, wonderful group of ladies that I've worked with all these years, and I'm going back and working with them and a lot of the guys that I've worked with before, and just working with them to help them and pull them through and meet their goals from a health perspective as well as from an obstacle perspective. So, and then doing everything I can social media wise and all that stuff. That's a whole new front for me. So I'm still working on it myself.
Amazing. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Now you know what is working for Kelly in getting new clients. You could try it. Reach out to your old team, the crew that you used to work with. Who knows? You might just find your golden mine there. Well, thank you so much for being here on the show and listening into what we were talking about. And again, if you need more information about the subject we covered today, how to overcome your obstacles where you are, or how to be in a great shape, how to live well, reach out to Kelly. And the website, again, I'll give it to you right now. It is www.kelly.majdan.com. You'll be able to reach out and send a contact, on the contact page information, your information to Kelly, and Kelly will be delighted to support you there. Alternatively, reach out to us. Again, Kelly, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This has been a pleasure.
That's awesome. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, live well, live with passion. Know that the best is truly yet to come. Well, you know what? I always say these final words, and it just happened to me now that we're talking about the first part, living well. So if you know and always want to live well, now you know how to do it. Reach out to Kelly. So once again, live well, live with passion. Know that the best is truly yet to come. Goodbye for now. Thank you for tuning in to Yeukai Business Show. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode and have gained valuable insights and inspiration from our amazing guest. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review to help us spread the word. Also, be sure to check out our Leadership Ultimate Success Mastermind program, which is designed to help you and leaders in our community to do great things and support each other along their leadership journey. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come.